Is the Carnival Sunrise the grossest ship on the seas? If you've been hesitant to book a cruise on the Sunrise because you've heard rumblings that it's too small, too outdated, and just not worth your time, listen up. This video, we're going to give you an inside look at our recent sailing on the Carnival Sunrise and set the record straight. You might be surprised to learn that despite its age, this ship still has a lot to offer. We'll dive into both the pros and the cons of sailing on the Sunrise so you can decide for yourself if it's the right ship for you. The final revelation about our Carnival Sunrise cruise will leave you absolutely stunned. You don't want to miss it. First up, the age of the ship. Built in 1999, formerly known as the Carnival Triumph. Then in 2019, they renovated the ship. They rejuvenated it. So how does age impact the aesthetic perception? My wife and I, when we were on board, we noticed some minor issues. I'll be quite upfront with you. A little bit of rust here and there, a little bit of fatigue. I don't want to say fatigue, but she showed her age despite having been, renovated back in 2019. There's no question that she's been around a while, but very minor, very few. I think we noted maybe six areas that could be a little bit more touched up. The cabin itself, I thought they did a good job with it. The cabins weren't really showing the age as much as some of the public areas on the ship, let's put it that way. Size-wise, she can carry about 2,900 passengers, so she is on the smaller side. She's not the tiniest ship in the fleet by any stretch, but she is on the smaller side, which we did like. It felt more intimate, more cozy, more comfortable. I didn't feel like I was on a floating city, as I have with some of the larger ships I've been on at times. Public spaces, walking down the passageways through the pool deck or they don't call it the promenade, but the main areas never really felt crowded, never really felt overwhelmed. Waited in a couple of lines, mainly for the entertainment options, particularly the comedy show. And I don't know if it was just the comedians that were on our ship were extremely popular or in general seemed to be longer wait times for comedians. But for the comedian shows, we learned after the first night that you got to get there about a half an hour early. But honestly, that's not really a ship issue as it is the size of the venue that put you in. Dining and entertainment, sufficient. Good food, variety of food. I never felt like it was unsafe or unclean in the buffet, the casual dining, the guy's burger, the main dining room. Very, very well staffed. We enjoyed it. The food was good. It was not 5-star, but it's the main dining room. It was always good. I'm not a huge fan of the chocolate lava cake. That is like the signature dessert. It's only okay to me. So I think I had that twice to taste it, and then again to make sure that of my opinion kind of thing. Cabins, like I said, we had I believe a balcony on the ship, and clean, comfortable, give or take normal size. Didn't feel like they were small or cramped compared to newer, larger ships at all. Maintenance of the cabin seemed to be, from everything I could see, it was clean, well maintained. There were no missing patches of carpet. There weren't dents in the walls. There weren't missing chunks of mirror in the bathroom. Nothing like that. The tile in the bathroom, well, I'm not actually sure it was tile. It's probably linoleum, but that was in good repair. Beds were comfortable. Pillows were as good as I've had on any cruise. The specialty restaurants, we went to the steakhouse. Well, I believe it was called 555. And we also did the sushi. Izumi? No. I think that's the wrong ship. Good quality. The steak I had was very tasty, cooked perfectly mid-rare, just like I liked it. Worth the money in general, yes. I'm not a big fan of splurging, for lack of a better word, on the specialty restaurants. I enjoy the main dining room, but the two that we did try were very tasty and worth the money. We don't call ourselves foodies, so we don't have super high expectations of the food, whether it be, on a cruise or at an all-inclusive or at any restaurant. We want it to be good. We want it to taste good, and we want to feel like we've got value for the money that we spent. And all of those things, Carnival, exceeded. I love a good guy's burger, so I think I had Guy's Burgers almost every day on the ship. The main dining room staff were well-trained. They had great personalities. They were funny. They would make us laugh. They got to know us very well. It was a pleasurable experience. Onboard activities, typical activities for an older ship. They've got pools, they had a couple slides, they had mini golf, they had a ball court, they had the typical activities. The most popular activities for us are, we'll hang out at the pool for, a little bit here and there. We don't really do the hot tubs much. That's just not our thing. We like the casino. We like mini golf. We like trivia games, trivia sessions, just relaxing. So we're kind of low key when it comes to that. We don't need 8 million things to do every single minute of every day. Now, we love having options, but when we were on the Sunrise, we did not feel like there was a lack of options available to us. The comedy, as far as the evening entertainment comedy clubs, funny every time. We saw 2 different comedians each, I believe we saw twice, and really enjoyed them. Actually, the one comedian ended up coming into the piano bar after one of his sets, I believe, or maybe on his night he was off, and he ended up, well, it wasn't really a stage, but he ended up getting up by the piano and singing a song or two with the singer at the piano bar, which was really cool. He actually had a good voice. The shows were good. They did not stand out to me as being phenomenal or awful. But it takes a lot for me to walk out of a show that I quote unquote paid for, not that I paid extra for it, but you know what I mean. But they were fun. Lots of trivia options, really good cruise staff, all from the cruise director all the way down. They were exuberant. They were happy. They were smiling. They were running their butts off the entire week. I swear, it's like they never sleep. We see them at 7 o'clock in the morning at, breakfast, and then at 1 o'clock in the morning closing a show. So hold on tight, because coming up, we're going to explore a hidden gem on the Sunrise that many cruisers have yet to discover. And I'm actually kind of hesitant to announce it here just because then it won't be a hidden gem anymore. Service quality, the staff, phenomenal. From our room attendants to the bartenders to the wait staff to the random deckhands that we would see, squeegeeing the decks around the pool. Always polite. Always smiling and, hi, how are you? I give Carnival credit. Their staff on the Sunrise was absolutely amazing. Housekeeping, they always did a good job. We had Pua, I believe his name was, and we're not very demanding when it comes to our room. So we only had 1 or 2 special requests for him, and no hesitation whatsoever. Sure, I can take care of that. I'll have it done before you come back. Really, really good. Very unobtrusive. Basically, all he asked is that, if we were going out for the evening or out for the day, to make sure that our do not disturb sign was not on the outside of the door. And he would come in and he said, anytime you're in the room, put that on the outside. That way I won't disturb you. Very professional. I've seen some comments that other people have found this ship to be dirty, that the cleaning practices were not adhered to, for lack of a better word. I did not find that to be true whatsoever. I never once had to wait for a table to be cleaned. I never once had an experience where there was no hand washing soap or sanitizer being filled. Constantly saw people sweeping and vacuuming and wiping down, horizontal surfaces. And I found the ship to be very clean, very well maintained overall. So yeah, I did not find that to be true. The common areas in the restrooms, the common area restrooms, again, never were a mess, were never dirty. I remember saying to my wife, Cheryl, that I see there's more cleaning staff visible on the Sunrise throughout that cruise than on several of the other ships that we've been on. Now, I'm not saying the other ships were dirty. I'm just saying that I noticed them more on the Sunrise. One of the things that I love about the Sunrise is because she is an older and a smaller ship, I found that I get more bang for my buck. You're not paying an extra premium because it's the newest ship in the line. And because it's smaller, they tend to go to smaller ports that some of the big mega ships can't get into. So I find it to be a very good value for my dollar. The itineraries and the destinations, again, they varied. I like the itineraries that I see that the Carnival, that the Sunrise does. It's not the same 3 stops that every mega ship does. There seems to be a little bit more variety, and so yeah, it's some more unique opportunities, let's put it that way. And I'm hesitating to say specific port stops because anybody who's been cruising for any length of time knows that they change. And I could say, as of today, Friday, whatever today's date is, December, whatever, her itineraries are Eastern Carib or Western Carib. or whatever. And then by the time you see this in 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year, she's out on the West Coast or she's over in Europe. So that's why I'm hesitating. Just ahead, we're going to uncover something about our port experiences that could redefine your cruising expectations. Final verdict, pros and cons. Is it really gross? Not at all. Arguably top 3 cleanest ships I've been on. Post-COVID memory, let's put it that way. I do personally recommend this ship for those people for people that don't have kids. Now, there is a kids club. There are some kids activities, and I don't think if you bring your children on board, I don't think they will be bored. But I don't think they're as geared towards kids and kids activities as some of the mega ships. So let's put it that way. That's pretty much it on my thoughts. So grossest ship in the fleet, not by a long stretch. After hearing the unbelievable details of our Carnival Sunrise saga, you're probably wondering, how do I make sure that my next cruise goes off without a hitch? You're going to need to know these critical booking secrets so you don't experience any kinds of disasters. And that's coming up next.